Hi, my name is Scott Walker, and I'm the president of Waveguide Consulting. Waveguide is an independent AV, IT, and acoustical consulting firm headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. We have additional offices throughout the southeastern U.S., as well as an office in Los Angeles, California. In addition to our core technology consulting and design services, Waveguide offers software automation services to control building environments such as lighting and shades, as well as audiovisual and video presentation environments through our Brainwave division. Our First Wave division provides ongoing technology management support to our clients, including full outsourcing of day-to-day operations of AV and video conference environments. We've been in business since 1996, and over that time we've designed thousands of high-end presentation and video conference environments for leading universities including MIT, Notre Dame, and Emory University. Our corporate clients include Fortune 500 companies like UPS and Sprint, top 10 global law firms, and major financial institutions. Our government clients include the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, numerous courthouse projects, and 3 state capitol complexes in Georgia, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Since our inception, one of our main passions at Waveguide has been to improve the user experience in these high-end presentation environments. We want to create an interface that is user-friendly, intuitive, and reliable, and allow a presenter to communicate their message without the technology getting in the way. Several years ago, we were approached by the University of Tennessee to design instructional technology systems for their new business school. And we could tell from the first meeting that this project was going to be something special and that technology was going to play a key role in the success of this project. We set out to create a new user experience for faculty, and that journey led us to rethink the entire user interface from the ground up, the result of which is something we call Guidebar. One of our first objectives with Guidebar was we wanted to create a large digital work surface for the presenter to be able to bring up any high-definition content they could imagine and be able to manipulate that content and interact with it without any loss of resolution. We first had to decide what size monitor was the right size for this application. We decided that a 24-inch touchscreen monitor would be about the right size to fit into a lectern, but not so small that you couldn't read detailed content. One of the first challenges we faced, though, with this size monitor is that all the touchscreen monitors of that size in the market were 16:10 aspect ratio. And we like to standardize on 16:9 aspect projection in all of our classrooms. So what do you do with that mismatched aspect ratio? Well, actually, that was the aha moment where Guidebar was born. We decided to take that difference in aspect ratio, that extra 120 pixels difference between these two displays, and put the entire user interface in that 120 pixel area, what we call the Guidebar. So here you can see I have a PC, I've got a very high resolution Google Earth map here. The students can see a crisp detail. I've got crisp detail here at my teaching station. I can go from that to my Blu-ray player. Here I'm playing out high definition content over HDMI. I have full digital rights management. I can manipulate that content. I can pause and play my DVD. I've got a direct TV feed where I can bring up any channel with the touch of a button. I've got an Apple TV player if I want to bring up some stored content, perhaps a TV show on the subject that I happen to be lecturing on. I've also got a digital document camera here in the ceiling. We like to put that in the ceiling. It reduces clutter here on the desktop, and I can manipulate my content. So thus, our first objective was met in that we've created a large work surface where faculty can bring up any type of high-definition source and seamlessly integrate that into their presentation. But that was just our first goal. So our next objective with Guidebar was to create an interactive surface where a presenter can annotate over their content and draw the audience's attention to any particular part of that content. For instance, I could come down here and highlight the fact that this company was flat for 4 years, and I could ask my audience why they thought that was the case, thus bringing to life my content. Similarly, I could go back to any video source and I can annotate over that video source, and I could talk about the shallow waters here and the warm waters coming in from the south. I can even annotate over motion video and talk about the Baja Peninsula here and the easterly trade winds that come in. Lastly, I can put my entire screen into a blackboard mode and use this as a substitute for a whiteboard or chalkboard in a classroom, and basically write, can draw anything I wanted to here, and create an environment where all my class notes could be stored here on this virtual blackboard. That's great, but what if a presenter wants to do two things at once? What if they want to show two different types of content? Well, we've got a solution for that too. Sometimes a presenter needs to show two distinct images at the same time to make a point. For instance, here's a map. Let's say I'm in a courtroom presenting evidence. And I could grab my pen and I could highlight this area of the map and say, this is where an accident occurred. Rather than having to simply flip between content showing the photograph and the intersection, I can, through Guidebar, hit this button and pull up my document camera next to it. Now I can point out the fact that this access road speed limit's 30 miles per hour, but actually that the police report said this collision was a minimum 40 miles per hour. So now I'm able to put two ideas up at the same time and help people understand my presentation better. Likewise, let's say I'm teaching an engineering course. I'm talking about a schematic of a particular circuit. I can go to my document camera and I could bring up some piece of electronics and highlight that particular piece of equipment. And then with Guidebar, I can put that into dual screen. I can bring up my circuit, and I can highlight, this part of the line diagram is the same as what's happening here on my circuit board. So again, I'm able to annotate between these two devices, and I'm able to draw outside of the box and create any type of content I want above and below my image. Just creates a very rich environment. I don't worry about aspect ratio. I don't worry about content. I can put any two images up. I can also size those images. If I want to draw more attention here, I can zoom in on that image. I could zoom in on this image. I could swap the images, or I can go back to equal size, and then ultimately back to my single image. All with the press of a button, all very simple, intuitive for faculty to use. So our next challenge in the evolution of Guidebar was how to take this entire experience and create one digital recording of a session. We needed to be able to record audio from the presenter and the audience, video, we have a camera in the back of the room capturing my video, as well as all my content, all my annotations, multi-window, everything. So on Guidebar we have a capture button here. When I hit capture, I get a preview window of myself so that I can make sure I'm in frame. Of course, the audience doesn't see that because they don't need to be distracted by that. When I hit the record button, it takes just a few seconds for the recorder to engage. Meanwhile, my lights go to a camera-friendly light setting. Thus, I won't record myself standing in the dark. Now that my recording's engaged, I can go back to my content and zoom in on my map if I want. I can annotate over a particular part of that map and talk about whatever I want to highlight on my presentation. When I'm done with that, I can stop my recording. My lights go back to their original setting, and I'm ready to go back and present and teach like I would normally. The Rich Media Recorder is now digitizing all that content such that by the time the student goes to the coffee bar, the entire session has been recorded and is available online for them to review. So imagine at the end of the semester being able to go review an entire course, or if you missed a particular meeting, you can go watch that entire meeting and capture every aspect of that meeting, including all the content, in one online package. That's the power we bring to Guidebar. In addition to designing this touchscreen interface, we also needed to design a lectern that would complement the Guidebar experience. So we worked with InView Furniture to create this custom lectern. One of the things that was important to us was being able to accommodate presenters of different heights as well as disabled presenters. So this is a fully ADA compliant lectern. But with the press of a button, I can raise the lectern to accommodate taller presenters. I can also adjust the tilt of the lectern to get any glare off the screen and to get to a comfortable writing posture. You might say, this is great, but I don't want to be tethered down to a lectern during my presentation. Well, we agree. So we've been able to incorporate the Guidebar experience into an iPad or an iPod Touch or an iPhone. So this is a low-cost user interface wirelessly from anywhere in the room. I can choose a different source. I can put my system into dual screen mode, choose a source for my second window. I can enlarge one window, swap windows, basically give you the full guide bar experience from anywhere in the room, so a presenter can roam around or a technician can be in the back of the room keeping everything moving along. So that's Guidebar. Hope you like it. If you're interested, please look us up on the web or give us a call.